In a certain place there lived a couple of farmers. They had a beautiful, cute, and clever daughter named Pina. One day, while the farmer was working in the field, he unearthed a mortar made of gold, a beautiful and rare item. He exclaimed, "I have no use for something like this. Let me offer it to the king. He will surely be pleased." He immediately thought of setting off, but his daughter Pina stopped him, saying, "Dad, don't go. If you offer the mortar to the king, he will surely ask about the pestle and unreasonably demand you to produce it." The farmer dismissed her warning, saying, "Don't talk nonsense," and proceeded to leave. When he reached the palace, he presented the mortar to the king, who, after examining it, exclaimed, "This is truly a rare item, but it's only a mortar, utterly useless without the pestle. Where is the pestle?" The farmer explained that he hadn't found the pestle. The king, angered, declared, "Not found? You're lying. How could there be only a mortar and no pestle? You must have hidden it. If you don't produce the pestle by tomorrow, I will treat you as a thief and throw you into the dungeon." Oh, how could this happen? The farmer was terrified and nearly fainted. Unconsciously, he muttered to himself, "Pina's words have come true. She is truly a smart girl." The king overheard his words and asked, "Who is this girl you mentioned, and what did she say?" The farmer replied, "She's my daughter. She told me that when the king sees the mortar I present, he will unreasonably demand the pestle, so she advised me not to offer the mortar to the king." "Ah, a clever girl," the king admired. Despite his unpredictable nature, the king was not entirely malicious. He then said, "You don't need to bring the pestle. I want to meet your daughter. When you go back, have your daughter come to see me immediately." As the farmer prepared to leave, the king suddenly added, "However, just having your daughter come see me is not interesting at all." The king, who enjoyed teasing others, wanted to test the intelligence of the farmer's daughter and presented a challenging task. "I want your daughter to come to me without wearing clothes, not naked, without walking or riding a horse. Figure out a way to make it happen." The farmer was very worried about Pina, unsure if she could follow the king's instructions to meet him. However, when he returned home, he conveyed the king's request to Pina. Upon hearing it, Pina smiled and said, "No problem. I'll go see the king tomorrow." The next day, Pina took off her clothes, let down her dense long hair that reached the floor, and used a large net to roll it layer by layer, covering her body. Additionally, she hopped on one foot and arrived at the king's palace, placing the other foot on a sheep from the farmer's flock. Seeing Pina's appearance, the king exclaimed, "You are truly a clever and beautiful girl. I really like you, Pina. Will you marry me?" Pina agreed, and the two lived happily. One day, the king went hunting in the countryside and saw a beautiful horse grazing on the grassland. He ordered his attendants, "Capture that horse and bring it to my stable." The shocked owner of the horse rushed to the palace, requesting the king to return his horse. However, the king coldly dismissed him. Queen Pina, sitting nearby, urged the king to act justly and advised him to return the horse or compensate its owner. But the king ignored her counsel. Clever Pina quietly found the horse's owner and taught him a method to reclaim his horse. The next day, following Pina's instructions, the horse owner, carrying a net, walked around the king's palace without resting, repeatedly shouting, "I am a fisherman. Can anyone tell me how to catch fish?" He reached the front of the palace, walking back and forth, calling out in this manner. Unable to endure it any longer, the king yelled, "Go away! You're so annoying, asking for fishing tips on the street. What an extraordinary fisherman you are. There are plenty of fish in the ditch in front of my palace. You can catch as many as you want." The fisherman replied, "But, Your Majesty, you are an extraordinary horse-catching fisherman. You took a good horse from my pasture." The king, appreciating the bold response, found it amusing and ordered his attendants to return the horse to its owner. However, on the other hand, he was furious with Queen Pina. He summoned her and said, "I know exactly who came up with the idea for the horse. You probably prefer that man. Leave. You're of no use to me anymore. Quickly leave my palace." But Pina, unsurprised, said, "All right, since you've said so, I have no choice. I'll go home. But I won't leave empty-handed because when you married me, you promised to give me the most important thing in the palace. Please fulfill that promise." The king replied, Take whatever you like." That night, while the king was fast asleep, Queen Pina prepared a carriage in front of the palace. She commanded numerous attendants to silently place the sleeping king in the carriage and urged them to swiftly drive the carriage to the farmer's house. Shortly after, the king woke up from his slumber. He opened his eyes to find the room had shrunk. Darkness surrounded him, and the bed felt unusually hard. Bewildered, the king asked Pina, who was sitting by the pillow, "Where are we? What's happening?" "This is my home. With the king's permission, I secretly brought back what I consider the most valuable," replied Pina. The king inquired, "What did you bring back?" Pina smiled and said, "I believe the most valuable and my favorite thing in the world is you, Your Majesty. So while you were resting, I brought you home." Upon hearing this, the king admired Pina's wit and burst into laughter. The laughter resonated so strongly that even the farmer's house trembled. Then the king's mood lightened. He said, "Pina, I understand. Let's not talk about leaving anymore. Let's return to the palace." Their relationship blossomed, and they lived a happily ever after.